One of a Kind by Gage. One day we'll figure out that all we need is each other. Of all things may my legacy be having loved you. Symphony. The heart behind every beat, sweet, steady, and sure, you endured through every change of tempo and measure of score. I boxed your voice to hum your tone. It vibrated my vocal folds like it was sewn. So when I sang, spoke, and shouted, I heard you more. You accompanied me as a layer, a perfectly supportive track, and a mastered edit suite. Under your direction, you gestured me to sing as a soloist, with you as my conductor. Our duet was as soft as a solo. As the song neared the end, we sang about how our love would never be derailed. So take the rest, lay down your baton, and I'll carry out our symphony. Full sound ahead. Prayer. Please, God, send someone to align me with whom I really am. Like they'll be for me, let me be the answer to their prayer, Lord. A whisper whirls in my ear canals. God said, you both prayed for each other. And my love said, loving you was a greater reality than any dream, wish, or prayer God could grant. I kneel, Lord, knowing that you hear our hearts and prayers. Amen. Morning. You checked to see if I slept well. No one ever had truly asked and listened to the answer. I was tired. I was never a priority or a prized possession, just a piece, an object. You miraculously made me a morning person, and just more of a person. Peace is what makes sleep beautiful. I found comfort in loving you, and rest in loving me. Tin Man. I press my hand against my chest and imagine every heartbeat in my palm as you stirring in my soul. Beat, beat, beat. So when you went home, my palm waited for you to knock. When I knocked first to revive you, all I could hear was a cave without creatures. Please beat, beat, beat. A bang echoed. It's not your fault that I'm hollow. I only felt my emptiness because I knew your fullness. I keep my hand here and imagine the pulsation that is gone. I am grateful for when I had a heart. Thank you for the beat, beat, beat. I've discovered the secret to raising the dead. I think of you and utter your name. Then my heart comes out of hiding and beats, beats, beats again. Unconditional. I can't tell you how many times I gave in and up, how many times I sought out self-afflictions, how I harmed myself with whom I let in, how many times I wanted just anybody to love me, and how many times you made me persevere and love again. Talking to you is easier than talking to myself. Here you were for me to hear, and you heard me. You were the human to my humanity. An addition to my human condition, you shared your final moments alive with me, so that I may extend your legacy. Winner. You won. You won since day one. Ruling a kingdom of kindness, your subjects bowed in loyalty. You won when you struck a home run to heaven's crown, winning the greatest championship of the universe's series. A shining title never blinded you. You won with a playbook to create, never to compete. You were your own competition and championship. All you had to do was overcome yourself. You won with the sum of your days. You won the race by leaving a trace. You won, and in knowing you, I won too. Reliance. Even independence needs you. Be. No matter how I'd been, who I'd be, or what I'd end up being, you'd just be happy that I became, and that I never stopped becoming. Recovery. While I have you, I want you to know there is no one quite like you, who breathes at the same pace as you, who smiles as sincerely as you, whose heart beats in a rhythm like yours. I hope you delighted in all that I did. I'll always have an ear, eye, hand, and heart open to sense your significance. Everywhere. You're in every thought, every breath, every word, every prayer, everywhere. You are there. In all places, in all things, in all hopes, in all dreams. You are there. You are there in the places where I'd never thought you'd dare to go. You follow me off the cliff, through the dungeon, in the cage, through the flames and the floods, and through the nights to get me right where I need to be every time, every day. You were, are, and will always be with me until the end of eternity. You're not going anywhere, because you're everywhere. United. You and I, we, became you and me, which together is us. Life's easier in sharing a single word. I'd be a unit with you in any and every measurement. I'll add to your number or be the second point in your line segment. I'll be counting the ways that I can measure up to, for, and with you. Chuckle. I chuckle randomly thinking about how you chuckled and spoke through the cheer, endearing and entrancing. We joked about being mortals. We smiled in the gift of humor. Mortality laughed itself to death. Name. A misspelling on a pizza box order declared my new name, Austin. I could never misspell your name, except that one time. You compare me to the likes of Beethoven, MLK Jr., and Gandhi. I'm ordinary, but if being a world changer keeps you in my world, then I'll be extra and dream bigger and hope higher. And if I can't change the world, I'll make a new one to have you in it. Learning your name was like the first day of kindergarten, and I never wanted to graduate. But I'd celebrate every day with a pizza party to have you call me Austin. Marathon. Maybe we run for a lifetime because that's how long it takes to catch up with ourselves. Free. You shook my shackles. When I questioned my value, you answered to the beat of my heart. You held the key, then handed it to me, so I could be free. When I was a slave, you served me with every hope to loosen the hurt and show me a saving grace. I craved love as my substance in the darkest of corners and relationships. I fell out of line, out of love, and into grief, anger, and lust, to circle in the same loop. You showed me a new part of my identity. Love set me free. I need you. I need you too. I need you to wake. I need you to wake up. When you come back, you'll ask me what I did, to which I hope to say what I was sent out to do, for the world needed me too. Deliverance. You were my good place, and I know we'll be together in the happiest place. You accomplished your goals of being the best, truest version of yourself. You were unapologetically you, and I'm thankful that you accepted me as me. I was never ashamed of you. I was ashamed of me not accepting me. You're a child of courage. You're a king of kindness. You're a treasure of truth. You're an answer to adversity. You're a solution to struggling. And when my message fails to deliver, I know that God delivered you. Delivery. My message has been sending to you for almost a week now on my laptop after your death, and I wonder if it will ever get to you. It's a series of poems that depict how great my love is for you, but the data size might be too hefty to send. I'll have faith, though. I believe it was delivered. Addition. I was only me, and you were the best of you, adding to the better part of me to equal a greater us. Divinity. I called your old number in hopes that you'd respond. A woman answered instead. "Who you looking for?" I said, "God," because I needed an answer as to why you died. She said, "Why are you calling? He never hung up on you." Autograph. I practiced my signature over and over until the significance was signed into myself. My hope for you was that you found hope in you, that you were in awe of yourself. You were the celebrity to celebrate, and I wanted your autograph. Business. On Friday, April 12th at 9:35 p.m., you reached out to me with a business card. You meant business and sealing the deal with my soul. I'll always buy what you're selling. Pleasure. 3.5 inches by 2 inches was the second view of me. My business card found a home in the tint of your wallet, as opposed to the hole in your pocket. We never mixed business and pleasure, so it was a pleasure to love you and not make any deals. If you told me it was 3 months, my heart would say it was a second, because even time paused for us. Time was pleasing until we ran out of it. Till death do us part. We talked like a married couple. I scoffed at how someone could marry so young and fast. Now I understand. Lucky. A short encounter and exchange would start eternity with you. Because we had a beginning, may we never have an end. I'll start again and again just to have you as my end. I never thought about death until death thought greatly of you. Life was lucky to have you, and my life was even luckier. Life is love, we just all have different ways of living it. You had me feeling immortal. Here's to loving you forevermore. So lucky am I. Luck sounds like a coin dipping into a wishing well. No need to keep the wish a secret if it already came true. It was you. Lifeline. You lingered in conversation because you feared hanging up your line. When I complained about work, you complimented me on how I desired change in my life over comfort. When I threw a fit, enraged, looking for a way to avenge, you appeased with profound sympathy, speaking lucidly. I know. Just to know was the validation I sought for me to forget the crime. For you to know made up for my feelings of being misunderstood. When I opened up about my addictions, you withheld judgment and opened your arms to receive me. When I was a stranger, you called me friend. You weren't clingy. You just wanted me to cling more to myself. Passing. It's not about why you passed away. It's about how you passed through. Dear love, I love that you love. I love that you're raising us to become spiritually mature. This is training ground for the greatness to come. Love made me live a little more. It made me want to live. Love mapped out my life. I want you to go and experience it for the both of us since I can't physically take you. For as long as I live, I'll experience love until I become the very experience I lived. Love itself. Hush. While some use their words to speak their minds, others use their actions to speak their souls. Represent. If you only knew you represented the world, you might have thought more highly of yourself, for you came to balance the universe. You are in universe, so continue to be you, and the rest will spell itself out, with a little time, space, and grace. Fiery. Anytime someone makes you drop your head in despair, think of things that stack your vertebrae to stand tall. Speak of the passions you possess. Stay lit, for light attracts more light. Fire flickers in fear of its flame. Your fire is all-consuming and everlasting, so don't let anyone dim your light or cool your heat. You might be burning to guide someone with your glow. You're hot stuff, babe. Don't forget that. Glow. I looked outside of myself to avoid blindness by staring into my own light and casting it to illuminate others. I saw my reflection clearly. My light bulb glowed, so if I choose to always cast my light, I'll never be a shadow. Fragile. Like a label on a box, if we all wore the name tag, then maybe more of us would be gentle. Caution. Handle with care. Unlike my fellow appliances, though, I'm indestructible. Drop me, toss me, lose me. I'll pick myself up, find myself, and throw myself together again. Do your worst, and I'll show you my best. All you can do is change my outer look. All I will do is change my outlook. Rattle. When pottery pigs were fired in the urn with glass beads to rattle, I shaped a heart out of clay for someone to give it a shake. Gratitude. I try to find positivity as much as I can. You saw good in all parts of the world because you were the good and all of my world. Note to self. All you need to do is be authentically you. Angel. You worked the hell out of me by choosing peace instead of matching my anger. Fight. Escalate. Come down to my level. Fight. You raised me up to cast the heaven out of me. While I burned in rage, you reigned in grace. You hid your wings to show greater sympathy by meeting me on the ground. So when you flew away, all I could do was jump. And now that you're gone, I have to believe I'll see you again on the winning side. Grounded. You embody the environment. When I sway in stress, I look to the trees and think about how firm you stood and whom you were. When I wander and overwhelm, I look to the constellations in the sky to guide me home. When I sink into sadness, I look to sunflowers that shrug with heads too heavy for their stems. It's hard to wear a crown. Responsibility is royalty. When I thirst for an end to my afflictions, I look to the rain to wash my worries away. When I stumble down the street, I turn to the wind that whistles at me in the night, because we both know I look good. Mission. Success is when you make someone's soul smile. Footing. Even here, your head was in the clouds with dreams of us side by side at beaches and embraces, on swings, in conversation. I was living with my dream. I was falling in love with my dream. And my feet never left the ground. Blessing. Every text was in love. One of your last messages to me was, "You're the best, and you're loved." And I feel that because I feel that for you. You say I am the best thing that happened to you this year. Well, I think you are the best thing to happen to me. Feathers. If you're a bird now, I hope you're getting a kick out of the flying feature. We can always reinvent ourselves and find new shoes to wear and skin to slide on and wings to fly. Operator. I still clutch my phone waiting for you to call from heaven. But I think our service differs, and possibly time zones too, even though we have the same provider. I'm on hold. Damsel. In distress, I prayed for a hero, and the answer was to save myself. Keyhole. The influence you have is like a discovered key. You never really know the doors it opens until people show you how you found them on the inside. Purpose. If I only see you once in this lifetime, I hope I gave you another reason to live. Speechless. I guess being destined to write forever wouldn't be so worse a fate, but I'd give away all my words to be with you forever instead. Alive. I'm not scared of dying. I'm stoked for living after death. I especially with you. So, kill me now. Depth. You idolize those who did, but you forget how much they failed, how far they came, how hard they fell, how long they walked, how much they marched, how high they hiked, how little they had to conquer what was waiting at the top of the mountain. For the lowest low helped reach the greatest high. It wasn't about how they got there, but why they kept going. Unfortunate. Money and I were in a complicated relationship, but we had to talk and we're in a better place, where I'm not sacrificing who I am to live in scarcity, but I told her we have to take the time to know each other and be in partnership instead of at odds. We're romantic again, so that's a start. I've called her some names of which I'm ashamed, but we made up. We match each other's energy. We're both tools at times, but we're learning to work together. I feel fortunate for her. Employment. Loving you was no labor at all. Eternity. You were the last person I wanted to say goodbye to, and you'll be the first person I'll want to say hello to. Uncontrollable. I obsess over controlling, especially because of the paralysis that comes with someone leaving. No matter how much I strive to keep you, I wasn't in control when it came to how your life would end. Habit. The mountain you climbed isn't worth slipping down because of old bad habits. Chip. Sometimes I fear if I take one step, I'll fall over like Humpty Dumpty and my yoke will run. But in cracking, I'll see that breaking was a part of being brave. Courage. I can take dying, but my biggest fear is living while my love dies. So I guess that makes me brave. Goal. Anything we wish to accomplish deals everything with humanity. Cheese. 295 pictures exchanged in the short span of knowing you. I hold every memory captive because in a flash, the selfies were no longer returned. No other smile moves me to joyous tears. Centered. I feel selfish for using I. You would have celebrated my assertion of calling attention to myself. You would have applauded me for taking the time to state my presence, that I'm a subject who has a verb with a few adjectives. I'm more than a sentence to you, though. I'm the whole book. And you are mine, not just a word or two, but the entire series from the prologue to the epilogue, and everything in between. You're in it all. And I'm bold in being there right with you. So I'll start with I and happily end with you. Holding. I wrap my arms around myself and imagine I'm in your embrace. It works until I let go. Then I have to believe you're still holding on. Upkeep. I was never broken, just always in need of a little repair, a little self-maintenance, and care. 60. The number of seconds that marked another minute of paradise with you. I wanted to get to the 31,536,000 seconds of a year, and I know you dreamt of more time too. Warrior. My past has no power over me, because that pain is my power. Clause. I didn't think about a case where you wouldn't live forever. Forgiveness. Forgive me, for if I really listened and read up on your symptoms and the severity of surgeries, I would have known that you were dying, but I glossed over the idea of you ever leaving because it made no sense. And now that you're gone, I make no sense. You are my clarity. If you're here in my heart, then why does my heart beat like shattered glass glued together like a disco ball that wasn't meant for beating, just shining on the shards? You knew you were about to die, so how did you prepare for death? Did you talk to her? Did you pray for your enemy and let her know you had no interest? I wish she backed down for you, for them, for us. You're the only one I can imagine apologizing for dying when you had no control of your fate, and the only one who asks for forgiveness for leaving life. You were always forgiven. prism. I'm independent, but I rather rely on you. Even the sun needs the earth and moon. The sky cries for the sun to be seen. You're every rainbow in between storm and clarity. Universal. I keep dreaming that you'll be in my dreams. Before the sun sleeps, we can skip under the sun. The days are longer without you. Before the sun rises, I want to say thank you and sorry simultaneously. Thank you for what you've given me, and I'm sorry I couldn't give you more time to live somehow. I would have sacrificed everything for you to survive your surgery. Just know, I'll never forget as I fall asleep to moonlight that we share the same heavenly moon. So I sleep, knowing that you're still my universe. Sing. You say your voice is boring, but I've never heard anything more interesting. Your song never sounded better as it rolled off your lips. Everything you ever voiced added love to my life. Mosaic. Your rendition of Elton John's song is my favorite version of an off-key jam unrecognizable to anyone but me. You made it your song, and you made my life sing. I hum your song, and when the pitches waver to a puddle, I beg for the world to go mute. But then I hear the birds singing, and see that all things have a story to tell. You didn't have to speak to be heard. It's not what you hear that makes something beautiful. It's what you feel that makes someone beautiful. You made a mosaic of a million things without ever opening your mouth. Fatal. Who knew that terminal could be so final? Definitely. Won't You Be My Maybe is a romantic comedy you mentioned endlessly. You hopeless romantic, you giving me all my hope as you hope for me to find it in myself. There's no question. You were definitely mine and I was yours. So, won't you be my always? Deadline. The month was over and so was your life. God has a way of extending deadlines though. So when you didn't come back after 3 days, I revived you in my heart. And you survived. Carry me. It's okay. You can set me down. Let me carry you. I'll lay you down from the cradle of my arms and tuck you into your sheets. It's okay. Team. Your brother told me you thought about breaking up with me before you died to save me from grief. The pain would ache the same way. Moment. I stood still and reassured. Poetic. Every word out of your mouth was a line of love. I'm complete without you, but I'm more complete with you. You rather flip the pages than scroll through the screen, so I'll give you both options here. Handle me carefully. I'm fragile but fearless. If you were a book, I'd read you from cover to cover. Getting kicked out of a library for talking too loud would be a sweet delinquency. You're the first person I've texted who has written, hugs you. I've never been embraced that way. When I sift through our messages, I skim every word I sent, but I analyze your texts, striving to dwell between the lines because I can still hear you here, following. His plan was greater than the plans we prepared for us. If believing means I'll get to spend eternity with you, then I'll follow you blindly. I'd lay my life down for any man or woman in an entirely selfish action in pursuit of loving you. Signed. You deserve to be awake, while my consequence should be eternal sleep. Let me trade places with you. Go to bat with your pillow and take the hit to the head and be knocked out of myself. Let me give it all to have you back in this world, because she's been asking for you. She needs you more than I. Letting go is moving on, but I'm no goon because you can't just let one evaporate like a puddle, so I'd lick your puddle like a dog for the sun not to take you. You furthered my career like talent representation by keeping me on track, checking up on me, and supporting my journey. I can't wait to see your name in lights. I shone to you, and for that I'm content. You even thought my email signature sparkled. Fame. You supported every scene I ever did. Enthralled by my movie profile, you said, "You will have to sign a lot soon when you're famous." I only want to be famous for how I make people feel. I've seen your autograph, and I wish you could sign it into my dinner napkin. I'm a fan of your work, but I know you weren't. Meetings, offices, schedules, appointments, conference tables, dinners, deadlines, hotels. You were in the business world of composing contracts. I knew you were different because you made me feel different. A love for myself that I only had as a kid up to age 6. So I'm your biggest fan, and the president of your fan club. And this should prove it. Yours. I'm your Pika and you're my Piglet. Yellow and pink, color had no pigment. Hue didn't matter to what made one human. I'm your Goober, basically a chocolate-covered nut, and you're my poo. Darling dear, you are in every greeting, and you are every endearment. I'm still yours. Piglet. I'm living for the both of us. Raven. Poetry was our story of how Edgar Allan Poe's trees tied us together in the text under an ominous moon. Mended. The things I hate about myself are the things you thought most highly of. My voice, my singing, my acting, my living. You admired it all. You saw me as Dr. Seuss, and I saw you as a saint. God employed you in heaven when you were working on my heart. I believe He assigned you to me as a project. Childhood. No need for a time machine when you brought me back to all the simplicities of youth and my innocence. Forward. How do I heal my heart? You never engaged in an argument. You always proposed in love when I came at you with ego. You must know that you saved my life by bringing me to save myself. What do you mean by move on? Please tell me how to do that. How do you move on from the best thing to happen in your life? I don't know about moving on, but I'll keep moving. Handy. Your plush hands indent like button pillows with small calluses where the work wrestled your skin. Your hands clasped behind my back, and I felt wrapped in peace like a bed of leaves that had to fall at some point. I'll be your hands and finish the work you started here. I'll glory to you. My fulfillment comes in feeling the fullness of your hold. Fighter, you don't have to fight. In forfeiting for peace, I promise you one. Indivisible. The only division is your decision to build walls. United. I belong as a member of the universe's family. Anywhere. In Barnes & Noble, we talk at great lengths, longer than the lines in all the books. I searched for the bridge to Terabithia. We crossed it together. I had my eyes wide open to see what I already believed in beside me as your eyes closed. Leslie Burke didn't believe in hell. Well, the only hell I know is any place without you. I'll follow you anywhere. You said we met in Narnia. I can work with that. We have to choose a side of the wardrobe, right? I'll follow you anywhere. I'll step into a wardrobe to stumble into Narnia. I'll blow away in a twister if Oz is your happiness. I'll build the bridge for both of us to Terabithia if that's where you'll want to be found. I'll follow you anywhere. Enjoy was your last word to me. What can I enjoy when you're not on the side of the wardrobe to enjoy it with me? I'll follow you anywhere. And when I have my last word, after a lifetime of enjoyable adventures, I'll say where your heart took mine. Everywhere. Smile. To fully feel joy, I had to know suffering. Sorrow is love shedding tears. Smiling is a sign that happiness is as simple as a feature on your face. Joy. is making peace with the pain by making purpose for it. Magic. Every now and then I stop and marvel at the miracle I am. Forgiveness isn't saying, it's okay, what you did is okay. It's saying, I'm okay, and I hope you get there too. Dreamer. Your dream is yours, so believe it to be as real as a nightmare, as good as a lullaby, and as true as reality. Generosity. If you hang on to what you have, how will you ever hold more? Poison. Your rage can be for another person, but it sticks with you. Perspective. Life is as big or as small as you believe it to be. Birthday. I wanted to celebrate 99 years of age with you, but because I might not live that long either, we'll celebrate here, with this page. Book. My ink never left your page. Cover to cover, I'm yours. I added a bookmark in your fingers' pores to feel the warmth of your palms on the spine of my book. Hold me. Set me down gently to protect the pages, because they have stories to tell. I'll stay open while I'm here, curious of what can grace my blank page. I never thought I was worthy to be written, until you picked me up and read aloud to bring me to life and edit the words I thought I was. I don't have the words, but because of you, I have the love. I thank the author, the ink, the page, the cover, the lover, and the reader for allowing my story to be one of a kind.